Hello, we are Team Dan, and this is our game Base Attack. My name is Josh, and our other team members include Nate, Sean, Howard, and Kyle. Let's begin by telling you about our intent for Base Attack. Base Attack is designed to be played on PC by players that are ages 8 and up. The reason we chose to go with ages 8 and up is because there are times in the game where critical thinking must be implicated in order for it to be challenging. Because of the nature of our game, it is designed to be enjoyed by both males and females alike. When we designed this game, we wanted players to think about each move they make critically before making it. If the player is careless in the way that they decide to move around the board, then they could lose their pieces fast, and the game will be over before they know it. One of the big decisions we wanted players to have is where they hide their secret base and how they decide to protect it. If the player decided to place their base in the bottom right and then place their defensive pieces all around it, then it will be obvious to the opponent where the base is located, and the opponent will have a much easier time taking it out. Since the base is not visible, then the players may choose to place it all the way to the right, but then set up their defenses on the left as to confuse their opponent on the location of the base. This is all part of making critical decisions and critically thinking in order to win the game.
Hi, my name is Nate, and I will be discussing the game mechanics for Base Attack. In Base Attack, the 5 key mechanics are attack, defend, consume, duplicate, and locate. Our player would be the user, our input would be through the controller, and in this case that would be the mouse. The process is the internal system working, and the output would then be the mechanic that we are trying to use or carry out. These mechanics work together really well to create a fun and challenging game. Attack and defend really go hand in hand. Attack will try to find other base pieces or attack other attack pieces, and the defense pieces will be used to negate those attacks. The attack piece also consumes the base piece to bring it back to their home row. Duplicate will be used when attack attacks another attack piece. The player that attacks then gets to duplicate their attack piece and start it on their home row. And locate is when the attack piece really finds the base piece and then starts to bring it back to their home row to win. So let's take a look at the storyboards to try to get a better idea of how these mechanics will work. For attack, we can see that the highlighted attack piece attacks the black attack piece, and the black attack piece gets sent back to its home row, while the other attack piece just gets to stay there and move freely even more to try to find the base piece. In this defend mechanic, we can see that the attack piece moves closer to finding the base, and the base is only visible for just a visual representation here. Usually it will be hidden. The attack piece moves closer, and the player doesn't like that, so they move their one defense piece in front of the base piece to try to deter the attack piece, and we can see in the final panel that the attack piece was thrown off by that move, so they start to move down and away from the base piece. With this consume mechanic, we can see that the attack piece moves into the spot of the base piece. It is highlighted, and now it changed colors, and that means it was consumed, and we can see that it starts to move back to the home row to win that base piece. For duplicate, we can see that the highlighted attack piece moves into the other attack piece's spot, and then the black attack piece gets sent back to its home row, and another attack piece is sent on the attacking player's home row, and that is the duplication of the attack piece. For locate, we can see that the attack piece moving towards the right, it finds the base piece, moves into the base piece's spot, highlights to show that it was consumed, and then that player will begin to bring it back to its home row to try to win that base.
In Defense Grid 2, aliens are stealing base cores from the player. The cores are basically base health points, while in our game, the players are taking each other's bases. In XCOM Enemy Unknown, a player must discover enemy units by getting in a line of sight with them. In our game, a player must discover base units by landing on their exact location. Pure Chess is a digital recreation of the classic game. Our attack mechanic is based on the same combat mechanic as in chess. The difference being the type of units and their restrictions. This first image is a possible starting point for base attack. Note the differing starting locations for the various pieces on both sides. This leads to greater allowance of player choice in how the game begins. This second image is a possible roughly midpoint for the game. Note that both players have eliminated opposing bases, with player 2 in the lead with only one base being eliminated. This third image is a possible near-win scenario in the game. Player 2 is located and nearly returned to their starting row with player 1's last base. While player 1 is hot on player 2's heels, it doesn't look like they could possibly intercept player 2 in time to stop the win. Today we have shown our game concept for base attack. We introduced our design intent, explored our core mechanics, examined some similar games, and shown a couple images of a possible game match in play. We here at Team Dan hope you have enjoyed this presentation.